Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where looks like our featured company has some big plans for investor meetings. Get ready for the deep dive. This filing today is about Astrana Health Incorporated, and it is an update they're giving in January of 2026. What is really interesting here is they're updating a corporate presentation. Think of this like a company's fancy slideshow to show off their progress and future plans to investors and sometimes important people at conferences. So on the 12th of January, Astrana Health Incorporated put out this report. Now the core of this is about a presentation they're going to use. They aren't releasing a whole lot of new financial data right now, but they are telling us they are updating their story. This section here is called Regulation FD Disclosure. Essentially, FD stands for Fair Disclosure. This rule is in place to make sure companies share important information with everyone at the same time, not just a select few. So when they say they updated their corporate presentation, they're publicly sharing that update. The most important thing they've attached is this exhibit, Exhibit 99.1. This is the actual investor presentation. Think of it as the detailed roadmap they're sharing. They're saying, hey, look at this presentation, it is part of our official report now. This presentation will likely contain more details about their recent business performance, what they're aiming for in the future, and perhaps some key financial highlights. Later on, they list out their exhibits. The big one is that Investor Presentation, January 2026. This is usually where you'll find the juicy numbers and the stories they want to tell. In this case, the presentation itself isn't directly included in this basic report, but it is referenced as the main piece of new information. The other exhibit is for the cover page data in a special computer readable format that the SEC requires. Now, looking at their stock information, Astrana Health Incorporated's common stock trades under the ticker symbol AST on the Nasdaq stock market. This is good to know because when we want to track their stock performance or look for analyst reports, this is how we'll find them. Having their stock on a major exchange like Nasdaq means they've met certain standards and usually indicates a certain level of operational size and investor expectation. And like most of these reports, they include a section about forward-looking statements. This is basically a legal disclaimer. They're saying that when they talk about things like future plans, projections, or expectations, these are just their current beliefs and estimates. Actual results could be very different due to various risks and uncertainties. They're not guaranteeing that the future will look exactly how they describe it. They're telling us to be cautious and to look at their other filings like their annual reports for a fuller picture of the risks involved. They also mention they don't plan to publicly update these statements unless something significant changes. So, what does this filing really tell us? It is not a deep dive into financials like a quarterly earnings report might be. Instead, it is a signal Astrana Health Incorporated is actively engaging with investors and stakeholders. They've prepared updated materials to explain their situation and their vision. The real story, the what is new, is likely locked within that attached investor presentation, Exhibit 99.1. This report is essentially the cover letter for their presentation. We'd need to see that presentation to get the actual numbers, the strategy updates, and the detailed outlook that investors are keen on. It suggests management is confident enough in their story to get it in front of people right now. Now, looking at this filing, it is hard to find definitive financial numbers in this specific document because it is mainly pointing to an external presentation. What we do see is a company that is being proactive in communicating. They're not hiding, they're putting out information and signaling their intentions. For me, this is a sign of a company that either has good news to share or is trying to reframe a narrative positively. The lack of specific hard numbers here means we can't directly critique their financial performance from this document alone. We have to assume the presentation they've attached holds those key figures. However, we can infer a few things. A company updating its investor presentation often does so to highlight positive developments, explain strategic shifts, or prepare for events like funding rounds or major announcements. The fact that it is dated January 2026 suggests they are looking forward and likely have a clear plan for the upcoming year. The core strength here is their communication strategy. They are clearly focused on managing investor perception and sharing their company's narrative. The main risk, as always with forward-looking statements, is that reality doesn't match the optimism. Without seeing the actual presentation, it is like reading the table of contents for a book and trying to guess the plot. Ultimately, Astrana Health Incorporated is using this Form 8K to officially attach and introduce their latest investor pitch. It's a standard move for companies wanting to keep everyone informed. The real meat of the information will be in that investor deck. This filing itself is more procedural than financial, but it's a critical step in their investor relations strategy. Alright, that is our breakdown of Astrana Health Inc.'s latest filing. What is your take on this strategic move to update their investor presentation? And what do you think they'll reveal in Exhibit 99.1? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.